Let's do it in one take. Cool.
For the highest best.
For the highest best. Welcome, triathletes. It's episode number 12 of our Zero2Hero triathlon journey. 1 year completed. It's been a long and such a successful story. I am Kai, and again, Christian is with me, and we are very, very delighted to bring the last episode, number 12, out to you. Before we get into a sum up of the season, we have some story to tell. You have some story to tell from your last race in Cozumel, the Ironman of Mexico. And this was your third triathlon, full Ironman distance this year. And before you went there, you had a remarkable training camp on Mallorca. Will you tell our triathlon friends a little bit about that and how you were leading into the race on the Ironman Cozumel?
Yes, absolutely. And Mallorca was happened by coincidence. I had a friend who went there, and she invited me because there was a group of professional cyclists there. I was very humbled to join them. The level was indeed extremely high, and I could join for some chat, coffee and cake rides, thankfully. Otherwise, the summary is that in 7 days I managed to do 700 kilometers. It was a quick boost just 1 week before the race, or more to speak. So
1 week before the race, 700 kilometers.
in the legs, at least, yes. For totaling, if we would enlarge the time spent to 9 days, then it would be, I think, 960 kilometers.
Okay.
So depends which days you want to look at, what time span. However, I felt very good on the bike, felt very good on the climbs there. The weather was absolutely delightful, sunny, peaceful, and I was working full time. So I
1,000 K in 10 days working on Mallorca and with a group of professional cyclists. That was your race preparation, right?
Indeed.
So then you flew to Mexico.
Indeed.
Long flight, 2 days travel.
36 hours, 4 connections, and I came back from Mallorca, and next day I flew to Mexico. So it was quite intense.
So, and then obviously your body was kind of rebelling a little bit, and you got a sore throat.
Yes.
And then we decided to have a vegetative training online. I didn't go to Mexico with Christian, unfortunately. I would love to see the beaches and swim in the crystal clear blue water, but I stayed here and enjoyed the cold autumn. So we decided to have an online VGT session. This was our first time we did it online. I regularly do it with clients, and it's very convenient. And you were a little bit skeptical that it works, but
yes.
How was it for you?
Yes, well, we never tried that, and I much more preferred in-person sessions.
Here
in the temple, in the studio, whatever we want to call it. And indeed, it surprised me how well it worked, because as soon as I laid down and we started vegetative training, I could focus only on your voice, and your presence was it like Kai was already there with me. So if you fall already into the breathing system and you relax and you focus on the voice, then that could be very powerful. And the session literally does not matter if it's online or in person. I was personally skeptical about it. I didn't believe it could work as well as in person, but it did wonders, because I had a runny nose, my nose was stuffed, I was coughing because of my sore throat, and the goal of the session was to completely recover and heal from that. And I can tell you, and you also heard it, my nose was clear as daylight afterwards. Yes. Nothing came out, nothing went in. It's just somehow the airways were cleared, and I could breathe again. I couldn't even breathe on my nose. That was 2 days before the race. So I was very grateful we could do that. And you even proposed it, because you kind of felt it, right? I needed an extra boost, and I really did. So thank you for that. It really was also kicking in the preparation and readiness on the day of the course. That's what we trained, right?
So then the race day on Sunday was happening. You were lining up for the swim start, and what happened then?
So we had to take a bus from the hotel to transition 1 or T1, and this is where I had to leave my nutrition on the bike and in the bag. And obviously you have to deflate your tires one day before because of the heat. So I was inflating my tires, and I did the one in front and in the one in the back. Somehow the length of the tube is not enough, and I pulled out completely the whole pipe that goes inside, and the essentially the wheel was compromised. So in the race morning, I didn't panic, but I was a bit okay. My tire almost exploded. Let's inflate it again. So I find all the pieces from the concrete that fell from the tire. Somehow we puzzled it up together. That was the first moment. Then we all went into the bus to go to the swim start, which is like 5 kilometers away from transition number 1, where you swim. It's a 4K swim flowing into T1. So there's another swim start. 2,500 people, 250 buses. I don't know. We all go to the swim start, and obviously I was preparing, doing the last minute preparations for the swim. There were some waves in the morning, and we were expecting a swim delay because the year before, 2022, they delayed the swim by 3 hours for letting the water calm down a little bit, because usually it's pancake flat and very fast current. So we line up for the swim, and then I do a movement, and somehow my skin suit on top of my triathlon suit rips apart in the leg, like explodes somehow, and I never really touched it in any way. I just woke up with a huge hole in my pants. I was like, what? What's going on here? And I was
the
really
Mayan spirit, probably.
I was really not deep down. I was not concerned at all. I was prepared to swim in the salty water, even though I had almost zero training in the last 3 months, between September 10 and November 9th. 3 months, is it 3 months? 2 months, right? 2 months, zero swim training because 3-time fractured elbow. So I let it completely heal and recover, and somehow intuitively I felt I have to focus on the bike and the run. It's race morning, my skin suit breaks apart, and then what do you know? The swim gets cancelled. So that was really a providence. It was really a sign. Whew, doesn't really matter, because we weren't really bothered. I wasn't really bothered by it. So it was just a coincidence how everything worked out just so effortlessly. Of course, the 2,500 people had to return to T1. It was already 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. They kept us on a ponton on the ocean with beautiful dolphins in between, because there was an aqua park there, and everyone was sitting like this on the dock and waiting for the time trial to start, because the time transition 1 was neutralized. So it was a very eventful morning, let me put it that way.
Okay, so then finally you started the race, a duathlon race, and then how did you experience? How did it go?
Yeah.
What was your race like?
Right, so definitely the heat, so it was 30 degrees hot out there, and we practiced the cooling effect, me imagining being in kind of a cold bubble, so I did not feel the heat, even though when I asked some pros before, when doing the bike course check, some pros told me this is worse than Kona. I couldn't believe them. Maybe the humidity at some point of the day, but I couldn't, in my opinion, even though I never went to Kona, Kona is the ultimate heat cave, right? So when they said it's worse, again I was not disturbed, but I said, okay, this is strange. So I knew I'm protected with the cold bubble, so I just did the first loop, first 60k. There were 3 loops of 60k. First loop I did incredibly slow and natural flowing. I hydrated, I ate constantly every 20-25 minutes gel, so I had like 16 gels with me. So yeah, that's a 480 grams of carbs. So I just went, the first loop went very easy, and I was very aero. I think I was going 37.5 kilometers with 180, 190 watts, no problem. And I felt very good. Then I started pushing in the second circle, in the second loop. So I started going 39 kilometers average. And then on the third one, it was a bit of a wind, it was a bit of a final push. That went well, and then I had to avoid some penalty because there was some disqualifications on the spot. Somehow they were triggering people, but overall for me the bike was 4 hour 53, very smooth, completely high cadence, 90 rpm cadence, heart rate in the range of 150. For me it's very low considering it's in heat conditions, going 220 watts average for the entire ride. 4 hours 53, 220 watts I never had. The degree of aerodynamics and timing. So it was incredibly smooth, and I'm very appreciative that I could take the first loop slow, because I think because of the duathlon nature, a lot of people went like rockets in the first loop, and I knew intuitively again I should just go easy, lean into it, and then accelerate as I feel better and better.
Mm-hmm. So that was the bike, and that's actually what we aimed for in the previous VGT session, right? We let you imagine that you were totally aero, that you're on the cool aero, sitting on a cool aero, totally efficient. So that's how it played out. Would you say that?
One on one, because I was literally imagining how I would be riding an ice cube in shape of arrow. Okay. So that was scary cold. So that made the contrast.
So you were the ice cube train on Cozumel. And then you changed on the run. How did the run go?
Right, so I went a bit more conservative on the bike to save the legs for the run specifically. And the legs from Mallorca were actually working quite well for the bike. Yeah, I started the run. It was extremely hot this time. And I said, okay, it's fine. I was starting to move. Was running 4:45, 4:40. So the first 14 kilometers were quite okay. Then my legs started to become stiffer and stiffer. So after the second loop was quite difficult. So my times were falling 5:10, 5:20 per kilometer. So, and I didn't take enough salt. I had like 20 caps of salt with me, but still was not enough. So then I felt fatigue, and then there was a crucial moment at kilometer 37 when I took some peanuts and Coke. And then I revived from the dead, and I just ran through and unleashed in the last 4 kilometers full speed, which was 4:50, 4:55, maybe 5, compared to 5:40 what I was running before. So let's just finish this. Then I stormed through, and it felt so good, finished so strong, and there were not many people in the finishing area. So, and the rule was, if you finish below 9 hours, you can grab the flag of your country. So I grabbed the flag of Switzerland, and I finished I passed the finish line, and it felt just so great.
Cool.
Amazing.
So overall, you were happy with the result? Could you say that? Could you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was beyond any expectation. No,
beyond expectation.
It was completely beyond expectation, because I was going in sick with a sore throat, and two of my other friends came also all the way from Switzerland, and they were sick. Unfortunately, they could not start the race, so there was a wise decision, of course, not to start for them. And I was contemplating, of course, after the VGT, I felt much better, so that was the signal for me. Hey, and looking at my heart rate non-stop during my sleep, during my eating, during my everything, my heart rate was similar, if not even lower. So I knew I'm not fighting any infection. I don't have any struggles to breathe. So it was a responsible decision to be able to race.
Okay.
So I didn't want to push anything, but everything went so smooth with the bike that I'm sure I can come back and smash on the bike a 4:20 with a 3:20 marathon and seal the deal, definitely.
And in previous races, you were reporting about a flow state. Did you have the flow state as well on that race, or because you're not mentioning it, is it kind of natural now that you're always in the flow?
I would say it was quite natural, because on the bike I could not notice how the 4 hour 53 passed. In my head, I was just admiring the nature left and right, and I enjoyed so much riding on the streets and then observing the crystal blue ocean. I was soaking it all in, because it was the last race of my season this year, and all the movie of the entire year was playing back in my head, and I was just being grateful and present in the moment, and that allowed me to enjoy. And in the run, I constantly was imagining how I was finishing. So that kept me going.
Kept you going.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
kept you motivated.
Yeah, the run was difficult in the third lap. 14K, 3 laps of 14K. Yeah.
So congratulations once again. I really admire your endurance throughout all the season, and what I most admire is your flexibility to just go with the flow, not only in the races but also in the training and in the opportunities that you were given, like the training camps and all the side stuff that happens around your season, you always like knew intuitively what was good for you, what to use, what not to use. So that I really, really, really admire, to be honest. And this is a true bonus, because you can really get lost in such a season. I mean, you made 4 half Ironman, 3 full Ironman this season, some other marathons and big rides and stuff. So it was really in a flow state, not like squeezed in. We were not pushing anything, just allowing to occur. And once again, my biggest compliments. It was a pleasure to work with Christian throughout the last 12 months. Before we really sum it up, I want to give one question from the audience to you. That is, I translated, what is the difference from your private VGT sessions that you have at home to the guided VGT sessions that you do with me? What would you say is the biggest difference?
I would say the biggest difference is the intensity of the experience. So let me give an example. At home, when I do VGT, I do it in a shorter version, let's say 20 to 30 minutes. I tap into the shaking very quickly from the beginning, so I don't need a long 5 to 10 minute breathing period. And I can visualize stuff in my head, free flow, while the body shakes, right? But in the VGT we do together, I believe the experience is much more intense, and it reaches new heights, and it unlocks different parts in my head rather than what I would be alone. So yes, it's guided, but the intensity of it, in terms of the stimulation, the inner stimulation of the head, I would say the guided vegetative training is much more intense, much more also fulfilling, and you can retouch that high of the experience in the guided back at home on your own, being individualized, being in a more individual experience, tapping into that feeling from the guided experience together into a more individual mind movie or personal goal or personal feeling that you have, and then you tap into that with the guided experience. So that's what I would say the biggest difference is the actual intensity, right?
And to unlock some new potentials.
Absolutely. And the strong, of course, the exercises that we do together when we're guided, and the different areas of stimulation, how we say, with playing with the light or with some keywords or something. It's incredibly much more opening, and then you use that opening when you go individually then, and you pick up that work, that groundwork individually.
So I would say that basically you do the homework actually to keep that level, to stabilize that level, and in the guided session you add something on top and you reach a new level. Is that?
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And also in the guided version, so there's a lot of potential unlocked, so you gain a lot of tools that you can practice in a free flow state on your own.
Oh yeah, that's then you afterwards you stabilize it in your homework.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's like like in school.
Yeah.
Practically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I hope this question was answered. To me it makes sense, because if you are guided in that vegetative state, in that auto self-correction, self-regulation state, you are guided. You don't have to think about anything. You just can let go, and letting go of thoughts and rationalizing will enhance your internal intelligence to work better for you, to work more to your benefits. So that makes sense for me as well. So now we sum up the season. I mean, incredible, the amount. It was really full of experiences that we both have not imagined when we started out 12 months ago at this place. And did you reach all of your goals that you were setting, or is there one missing, or what? How would you rate?
Initially, we started this journey with the purpose to finish Ironman Thun.
To finish Ironman. Yeah.
And what happened is
Oh,
actually
really?
3 World Championship qualifications, out of which 2 half and full Ironman World Championships were done, finished, and having breaking a 9-hour barrier in an Ironman with a cancelled swim, by the way. So that would be maybe 1 more hour extra. Breaking
Yeah.
the 10-hour barrier in a span of 3 to 4 months was unimaginable to me. That I would be able to be top 10 in my third full distance, be ninth place out of 75. That's unimaginable from going from a finishing standpoint to being competitive or top 10 in one of the latest season races. It's mind-boggling to me, and yeah, it's I soaked it all up, and I think there is the magic in believing, but also allowing things to flow on their own, because you never know what you expect. So none of these goals were set in stone. None of these. So from finishing Ironman Thun to where we got is just pure bliss, unexpected, and enjoying the ride.
Yeah. Now my question is, do you think that was just luck or a coincidence that you reached your goals? I mean, this is a
There,
theoretical question. Do you think?
definitely not. Definitely not. This is why we started this journey, because from the moment I experienced VGT in April 2022, I knew anyone can do it, and the purpose was to lay all the cards on the table with the data, do a 1 year journey, document everything, and showcase everyone anyone can do it. This stuff works, and this is the proof. And it was all for the purpose of sharing it with everyone and for the greater good, because as soon as I would take it on my own, I would just go back in my pain cave, do my working hours, training hours, and say goodbye. I keep it up. This is my secret in my sleeve. I have the secret sauce, the jumbo juice. But we don't do that. We want to share it with everyone, because I believe anyone can benefit, and we can create a community, and maybe all train together and reach our goals and just be happier, more balanced overall.
Yeah, that is a true, one key ingredient definitely to me and to you is the vegetative training that you did so well, you did so diligently, you did it really, really, really well. And the other thing is what made Christian so strong with that technique is that he didn't use it egoistically, but he shared it. He shared it to you guys. He opened up and as you said, he laid out the cards open so everyone can make up their mind if that's for him or her what we are doing here. And so you mentioned a few times in our episodes that you're just a normal guy. So by any means, you're not normal. But would you say that this is possible for anyone?
Vegetative training is possible for anyone who puts in the work. My example, or what my regimen was, 3 times a week, 20 minutes. As long as you are diligent in the practice of vegetative training, then you can reap these results, if not much more, because you can respond even faster and quicker to it. So I would say vegetative training was my #1 ingredient to be achieving all of this personally, to recover so much between such tight and demanding events. And definitely there is no specialty or greatness about it. Is as you would be cooking your meal. You need to eat to exist. You need to do vegetative training to recover. You don't need to, but the common practice will give you much more in return as long as you practice it.
So you're absolutely convinced that this enhanced your recovery. It was
This
not
is
something...
a proven fact. This is an absolute fact.
Yeah.
Vegetative training improves recovery, and it allows you, like I mentioned, I started with a VO2 max of 56 to go to a VO2 max of 70 in the course of a year. This is the data. Between a 1,000 kilometer 10 days, and there is no taper week, because there were weeks for World Championships in Nice. I trained more than 20 hours, and then I went and did the Ironman Nice,
Yeah.
because we did the vegetative training on the Côte d'Azur in a Marco Polo van a couple of times, and that was extremely intense and reinvigorating for me. So it's not a question it does work, it's a question of how well it can work for you and how you can use it for your greater good.
Thank you for this, for these strong words. By saying that, we are launching a VGT group, community group, that will consist, we don't know yet, 5 to 7 persons who are ambitious athletes, who are willing to put in the work, who are willing to work as a community. We have proved that it works, and we have shown that, and now we want to bring this out to more people. We want to give more people to experience a zero to hero story, and to reach the goals. So if you have already made up your mind about your sportive goals in 2024, and you really are up for reaching them, not just like saying, I want to do that or that. No, you really go for it. You are ready to go person. Then this is probably for you, and you want to test the effects of the vegetative training on your system. Then I encourage you to reach out, to fill the registration form, put in your data, and apply for this program. It will be a 12 months journey, just as we did, with every month you have an in-person VGT session with me here in the studio or online to your convenience. And we will have a monthly group call where all the members of the VGT community group will join to share knowledge, to share experiences, to encourage one another, and to really build a tribe of people that really want to unlock their potential. So if this is for you, again, sign up in the registration form, and you have the whole month of December to make up your mind if this is for you. So there's no pushing. Just want to tell you, I'm very grateful that one person has already taken the spot. So I'm happy to work with this wonderful individual cyclist. So let's see who will join our community. So what are we gonna do with next year? What are our plans on your Zero to Hero, now superhero story?
Season 2 coming in.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 world championships. Otherwise, it's still a secret. It's still in the cooking. It's still in the making.
2 world championships we have.
2 world championships.
Okay.
What we have as target races, and again, we go with the flow. We see how it goes, and the entire concept will reveal itself.
Okay.
So we're completely allowing it to come to us, right? Not forcing anything, and definitely in terms of the VGT community. It's not me, by the way, the person who already signed
it's
up.
not you're not in the community yet. So, I don't know.
And it can be anyone, right? It can be a mother, it can be a cyclist, it can be a triathlete, it can be a business person. This is definitely any suitable for anyone. So with empty arms, with open arms, sorry, with open
with full arms,
full arms. Welcoming to the VGT community, and really looking forward to that. And then season 2. Hero to superhero incoming for everyone. So cooking.
Great. Sounds very interesting to me. So I hope you have enjoyed this 12 episodes. You have taken a lot of inspiration for yourself, and I know from a few of my clients that this was very inspiring. So thank you once again for your openness, for sharing this. This was Truly, truly, truly. Also, a wish of mine coming true to bring this out in such a format I could have never imagined. It was always a wish of mine that there is one athlete who really wants to um, take the courage and spread the knowledge and really, really showcase what is possible. So, thank you once again. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting us. If you have any questions, let us know. We are still happy to answer them. And again, if you are up for the VGT community that will start in 2024, then you have the December to make up your mind and fill in the registration.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kai, for your guidance and support. 12 unforgettable months that I will treasure and cherish for all my life. So, really, thank you.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Cheers. Bye.
Woohoo! Boom. Wow.
Boom.